I didn't walk into AK Global to save a company. I walked in because something in their silence was screaming. My name is Iris Walker. I wasn't a hero, not that night, at least. I was just a forensic financial analyst, the kind of person who can catch lies hidden inside numbers. People lie with words. Companies lie with spreadsheets. AK Global Corp was New York's most powerful construction firm. Skyscrapers, highways, and now, America's largest dam project. A massive dam in the Nevada desert that controlled water, power, and profit. Project value? $500 million. Then one morning, the company announced. Unexpected loss, $120 million. Unexpected. That word made my skin crawl. I got the call. Miss Walker, we need a clean audit. Fast. Clean audits are only requested by people whose hands are dirty. The AK Global headquarters was all glass, walls, smiles, everything. From reception to the boardroom, everything was flawless. Too flawless. And that's when I saw him. Ethan Cole. CEO. America's golden boy. Calm voice. Sharp eyes. A man trained never to look guilty, even when he wasn't. Welcome to AK Global, Iris, he said, extending his hand. His eyes didn't lie. Only the pressure did. I had 72 hours to complete this audit. 72 hours is not enough for a $120 million disappearance, unless it was planned. That night, when the office emptied, I started the real work. The ledgers were clean. Invoices approved. Signatures valid. But still, the money's flow felt wrong. Like a song in the right notes, but missing its rhythm. I double-checked the vendor list. 3 companies. Same format. Same billing cycles. Different names. Red flag number 1. Then I matched logistics reports with the dam site. Steel shipments were higher on paper than on site. Red flag number 2. And then, I found it. An offshore account. Cayman Islands. Minor payments, spread out, invisible to most audits. But not to me. At the end of the account, there was a code. EC47. Ethan Cole. My hands froze. Either the CEO was involved, or someone had framed him. And in both cases, I was the only one standing in the middle. That's when I realized. This wasn't just a financial scam. This was a game of power. And the game had already started. No rules, no mercy. I stood up from my chair, switched off the lights, and looked through the glass wall at the city. New York was glowing below. And somewhere in that glow, $120 million worth of truth was waiting to be uncovered. I told myself, relax, Iris. You just follow the numbers. But my gut knew. When numbers start speaking, blood can follow. Some lies sit quietly in files. Others start watching you back. That night, when I left AK Global, I realized I wasn't alone. The parking lot was nearly empty, but the air felt heavy, as if someone was counting my breaths. I got into my car, started the engine, and caught a glimpse of a black SUV in the side mirror. Lights off. Windows tinted. Coincidence? Maybe. But this was AK Global's private lot. When I reached home, my mind was still in the office. EC47. Ethan Cole's code. The next morning, I walked into a different office. The atmosphere had changed. People were polite, quiet, almost too polite. Too fake. Ethan called me into his office. Iris, he said, the board is nervous. Media sniffing around. I need to know, are we safe? His eyes asked questions his voice didn't. I could have told him the truth. But truth was the most dangerous option at that moment. I'm still tracing the money, I said calmly. But whoever did this knew the system very well. He nodded, too quickly. Let me know if you need anything, he said. Anything at all. That's when I knew. Either he was innocent. Or the best actor in this story. Later that afternoon, I got an anonymous email. No subject. Just one line. Stop digging, Iris. Attached was a photo, my apartment. My coffee mug. My balcony. Taken last night. My throat went dry. This wasn't just a warning. This was proof. I was a target. I didn't panic. I made a plan. That night, I uploaded all my work to encrypted backup servers, every file, screenshot, transaction trail. If anything happened to me, the data would speak. Then I did something I almost never do. I trusted someone. Daniel Reed. AK Global Senior Systems Engineer. Quiet, observant, and I liked that he asked questions instead of giving answers. Daniel, I said, I need back-end access to the vendor servers. Officially? No. Quietly? Yes. He looked at me. Is this about the missing money? I stayed silent. That was enough. 2 hours later, he gave me access. And then the picture started to become clear. The fake vendors were just fronts. Behind them was a shell network, multiple companies, one control hub. Payments rotated constantly to hide patterns. The mastermind was smart. But overconfident. He made one mistake. A late-night transfer, directly linked to the DAMP project's emergency funds. Authorization time, 2:14 a.m. Location tag, AK Global, 47th floor. At that hour, only one department was active. Executive Operations. CEO Ethan's floor. My phone vibrated. Unknown number. Miss Walker, a distorted voice said, "You're chasing the wrong villain." "Then tell me the right one," I replied. A faint laugh. "Be careful what truth you unlock." Click. That night, I couldn't sleep. One question kept spinning in my mind. If Ethan Cole wasn't guilty, then who was being set up to fall? And the most dangerous part? I was no longer just an observer. I was part of the game. And in this game, players didn't just lose money. They lost everything. Power never screams when it steals. It whispers and waits for you to fall. That day, I made a choice. I wasn't going to tell Ethan Cole the truth outright. Truth is dangerous. And in AK Global's corridors, you have to know who is listening before you speak it. The board meeting was set for 6 p.m. that evening. Glass-walled conference room, Manhattan skyline shining behind. Outside, the city gleamed. Inside, politics simmered like molten steel. I sat in the corner, my notes in front of me, but my eyes were on one man. Victor Hale. Chief Operations Officer. Ethan's right hand. And my gut screamed, danger. Victor smiled like he owned everything. The damn project. The company. Maybe even the loss itself. During the meeting, when the $120 million loss was mentioned, Victor was the first to glance at Ethan. Ultimately, he said, the responsibility falls on leadership. Leadership. Meaning, CEO. My blood boiled. But anger is useless without clarity. That night, Daniel and I dug deeper. Access logs for executive operations. And there it was. Victor Hale's ID. Multiple late-night logins. Same floor. Same time. But one thing missing. Final authorization. The CEO's signature. Victor was using the system. But the final sign-off had Ethan's forged digital signature. It was perfect. Except for one thing, time drift. The signature was Ethan's. But he was in Boston at the time, public event, cameras everywhere. Victor used Ethan's name. And framed the CEO. I had the proof. But proof is useless if it's not revealed at the right moment. The next day, Victor called me. "Iris," he said, "you're doing exceptional work. We should talk, privately." Private. In corporate language, that means deal or threat. His office was on the top floor. Glass walls, blinds half drawn. "People are nervous," Victor said. "This scandal needs closure." "I feel the same," I said. He smiled. "Sign off the audit," he said calmly, "and you'll never have to work again." He opened a drawer. Inside, a check. $5 million. My heart raced. Not for the money, but because I knew I was in the perfect spot. "I need time," I said. He put the check back. "Take all the time you need," he said. "But remember, truth has consequences." That night, the black SUV was back outside my apartment. This time, lights on. Message clear. I could have been scared. Or I could fight. I texted Daniel. "Prepare the drop." Then I went straight to Ethan's office, no appointment. "Someone is trying to destroy you," I said. Ethan stood up. "Who?" "Victor Hale." Silence. Then his voice dropped heavy. "Do you have proof?" I placed my laptop on his desk. Logs. Locations. Timestamps. Everything. Ethan stared, then closed his eyes. "So this is how they plan to end me," he said. "No," I said. "This is how you end them." That night, we made a plan. Legal. Clean. Lethal. Because if Victor fell, it wouldn't just be one man. It would bring down the entire network. And me? I was about to become the voice of the truth. But little did I know, Victor Hale had already made his next move. Truth doesn't explode suddenly. It ticks, like a bomb you can't disarm. Victor Hale probably thought he had already won. But he made one mistake: he left me alive. Ethan and I spent the night strategizing. Direct confrontation wasn't an option. Victor had power, and power doesn't fall without light. We needed light. And the best spotlight? Public exposure. Daniel created a mirrored data room inside the system. Real-time replication. Any file Victor tried to delete would automatically send a copy to federal auditors. Safe. Silent. Deadly. By morning, AK Global was chaos. Federal inquiry notices. Government inspectors. Damp project funding frozen. Victor's first real sign of stress appeared on his face. "Who did this?" he shouted at Ethan. Ethan was calm. "Maybe someone who's tired of lies." I received my phone message again, unknown number. "You should have taken the money." I smiled faintly. "You should have covered your tracks." That evening, an emergency review was announced at the dam site. Victor went there personally. Ethan gave me a subtle signal. This was the moment. The wind whipped across the site, concrete walls echoing machinery sounds and tension. Victor stood at the podium, media cameras ready. And then, Daniel flipped the switch. Screens lit up. Offshore accounts. Shell companies. Forged signatures. Victor Hale's digital footprints everywhere. Victor's face went pale. "This is fabricated," he shouted. I stepped forward, microphone in hand. "Actually," I said calmly, "it's mathematically perfect." I explained: time drifts, location mismatches, system abuse. Numbers spoke louder than words. Cameras zoomed. Live broadcast. Victor looked at me. For the last time. Federal agents stepped forward. "Victor Hale, you are under arrest." Handcuffs clicked. The sun set behind the dam. Symbolic. Along with the $120 million, the truth was recovered. Ethan looked at me. Relief. Respect. Gratitude. But for me, it wasn't over. That night, a final message came. You won this round. Unknown sender. Unknown threat. I realized Victor wasn't alone. Every network has layers. Every victory has a price. I stood on my balcony, city lights below, wind cold against my face. I had chosen truth. And truth had chosen me. But if you think this story ended there, you're wrong. Some stories don't end with victory. They begin with responsibility. Some wars end with arrests. The real ones begin when the noise fades. Victor Hale was behind bars. Headlines were clear. The markets had stabilized. AK Global's name was restored. The DAMP project was back on track. For the world, the story was over. For me, it had just begun. The board offered me a title, Chief Integrity Officer. Salary? Obscene. Power? Real. But the most important thing, access. Ethan Cole handed me the chair from which I could see the entire system. You changed everything, he said. I smiled. No, I replied. I just didn't stay silent. The investigation after Victor's arrest went even deeper. Offshore accounts frozen. Hidden partners exposed. Politicians. Contractors. Lobbyists. The network was crumbling, but slowly. And then I understood. A scam is never just one person. It's a culture. At night, I often listened to my old files, voice notes I recorded when I was alone, when fear was real. In AI voice, hearing my own words, I felt like I was reminding myself. You didn't imagine it, Iris. You survived it. One day, Daniel came into my office. Someone's trying to rebuild, he said. Same pattern. Different name. I wasn't surprised. I just stood at the window and looked at New York. Glass buildings. Glass morals. Then we stopped them, I said. He paused. Again? I turned to him. Always. The media called me a hero. But being a hero is dangerous. Heroes are placed on pedestals, and pedestals are easy to fall from. So I learned to stay in the shadows. I don't give speeches. I fix systems. Even today, when someone asks me, how did you catch a $120 million scam? I just say, numbers never lie. People do. Sometimes I think of the black SUV. Sometimes, those anonymous calls. But I am no longer afraid. Because fear only exists when you stay silent. And I am not silent. If you are listening to this story, in my voice, in my breaths, remember this. Power belongs to those who stay quiet. Strength belongs to those who speak. My name is Iris Walker. I am not a hero. I am a warning. And this story hasn't ended. It has only been recorded.